Hi everyone, hope you had a lovely holiday weekend here with another lesson for you. This is the second to last lesson of the school year. Crazy! And it aligns with IXL S13. That's area and perimeter mixed review. So we have some formulas up here that you should be referring to as you do your practice as we take our notes. And just remember the difference between area and perimeter. Area is the amount of space a figure takes up, so it's the inside part, and perimeter is the distance around the figure. So that's adding up all of those sides. So let's get to some practice problems. Number one, what is the area of this square? So we look up here and we have a square. A equals S squared, where S is one of those sides. So we're looking for area of a square. A equals S squared. So since it's a square, we know that these two sides are congruent and they're both 5 inches. So that's going to be 5 squared, which is 25. So it's 25 square inches. It's the area. Now for this, what is the perimeter of this rectangle? So perimeter, 2 length plus 2 width, where this is the length and that's the width. So let's identify that. So this is the length, this is the width. So the perimeter is 2L plus 2W. So that's 2 times 5 plus 2 times 6. 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2 times 6 is 12. So that's 22. So that'll be 22 mile perimeter. It'll also work if you labeled this also as 5. And that also is, miles, as 6 and added all of those sides together. All right, what is the area? So it's a triangle. Here, area is 1/2 base times height, the height being where the perpendicular is. So A equals 1/2 base height. So the base is 15. The height is 12 because that's where the perpendicular is. We'll just plug that in. 1/2 times 15 times 12. You can plug it into your calculator just like that. Multiplication is commutative, so it doesn't matter the order. That gives you 90. So that'll be 90 square centimeters. Okay. The diameter of a circle is 3 inches, as we see here, that whole diameter going through the center. What is the circumference? Keep in terms of pi. So the circumference is 2 pi r, or pi times the diameter. So since we know the diameter, we'll write it in terms of that. We already know D equals 3 inches. So C equals pi times 3. And since we want to keep in terms of pi, that's 3 pi inches. And that's it. So on IXL, you would have to use the pi button. So we don't want approximations. That's called the exact answer. Okay, what is the radius of a circle is 6 miles, which they tell us here. What is the area? So rather than flipping back and forth, I'll just write the formula there. Area equals pi times r squared. Again, we're keeping in terms of pi, so we want pi in our answer. So A equals pi times the radius, which is 6 squared. So that's pi times 36, because all we're doing is squaring the 6 only. So that gives us 36 pi square miles. All right, the radius of a circle is 8 miles. What is the circumference? Keep in terms of pi again. So the circumference can either be pi times the diameter or 2 pi r. Since we're given r in this formula, we'll use c equals 2 pi r. So c equals 2, keep pi, r is 8. So I can multiply these two together to simplify. So that gives me 16 pi miles. So that means all around the circle, the radius is 8 miles, 8 mile, and then south, and the circumference would be 16 pi miles. All right, what is the perimeter? So the perimeter is just adding all of these sides up. So that would be 6 plus 8 plus 10. So that's 14 plus 10, which is 24, and then that's just in centimeters. The circumference of a circle is 6 pi centimeters. What is the diameter? So since we're looking for the diameter, the circumference formula we'll use is c equals pi d. Since we already know the circumference, I'll plug that in there. So 6 pi equals pi d. So we need these two sides to match, so we can divide both sides by pi to get rid of them. And that leaves us with 6 equals d. That must mean that the diameter equals 6 centimeters. Last two. What is the missing length? So we have a triangle here. This will be the height that we need. So this is height. This is the base, and we're talking about area. So area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And now I'll just plug in what we know. So we know the area is 6. 1/2 base is 4 times the height, which the variable they used is t. So now our goal is to figure out what t is, solve for t. So I know 1/2 of 4 is 2. So I'll simplify that. 6 equals 2t. So to figure out the value of t, I have to divide both sides by 2, leaving us with 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And then finally, the last one, what is the missing length? So here, this is a parallelogram, and we're talking about the area. So we have our width here, and our length here, or our height. Doesn't matter what we use. So we know that the area is width times height. So I'll plug in what I know. 182 equals W times 14. So I divide both sides by 14 to give me W equals 13, and the unit is millimeter. So I went through all of the IXL, and this got me up to an 81. So now we want you to do, not that, whatever that was, which was annoying, IXL. IXL it's S13 to an 80% or better. And that is the only assignment this week. So that's our little holiday weekend gift to you. We've been working really hard. We're almost there for most June. So keep working hard. Let us know if you have any questions. Do the best you can. Miss you so much. Take care.